Okay, everyone,
Right.
you're all welcome again to All Things Arsenal on the RBN YouTube channel. And it's that night, one of our first ones whereby we are going over a lost and being out of the Europa League. We're not even a Europa League team no more. Lost Champions League status ages ago, and now we're not even Europa League level. All right, who wants to go first? Where do we start?
Where do we
Rob
start? I tell you, where we
or
start.
JB? Go on then, JB.
Where
Oh,
we
by the way,
start.
before you go ahead, JB, we welcome JB for the first time to our broadcast. Glad to have you on, fellow
Bless,
Gooner. Off you
bless,
go.
big
Welcome,
up.
man. Welcome.
You see, like where we start is we ask the question of what did we expect. You get what I'm saying? Like, what did
Mm,
we expect? Like, it was bound to end in tears, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was bound to end in tears because the club's got no sense of direction. So how many times like have we got to this point? Look, in the last few seasons, we've got to two semi-finals and a final, and neither time have we walked away with anything worth. Do you know what I mean? Showing. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, so at the end of the day, like we've got to really look at how we move forward, not only as a team but as a club as a whole, from the top down, man. Because you guys already know, like my issues are at the top of the club, and whatever trickles down, and whoever gets caught with the lava trickling down from the top of the volcano, then so be it. You know,
yeah.
I don't back anyone but the club. Like I'm just behind the club, and the best interest of the club is that's what I'm all about. Do you get what I'm saying? So I've been looking at Arsenal for a long time, saying that we haven't been moving right for years. You
Mm,
know, this predates Arteta, it even predates Emery. It goes back to Wenger and the old regime, and I don't want to go
mm,
too far back into that, but like it starts somewhere, and that's where
mm.
it started. It started with the Kroenkes. Sorry to bring it up. I know there was another protest today, and I know that there was a protest a couple of weeks ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like we just got to keep that pressure up, man, because there's people that want to buy the club and they're serious about it, and the way they're talking, I'd much rather see that than what we've got, because what we've got keeps bringing us misery and stress, man. Trust me.
Mm, mm. All right, so you took it from that overview point of view, and it's true because if there's certain things going up at the top of the club behind the scenes, it's going to affect everything and everywhere. But I'm guessing Rob wants to go in on the game tonight first, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Go on
well.
then.
Let me start by just first of all saying to all Arsenal fans out there, we didn't deserve that. We
No
did
clue.
not deserve that, Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? That was just, it was abysmal. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Like my um, pre-match, my pre-match observation. What I said was that that game is going to be won in the first 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and in that first 30 minutes, we never turned up. I mean, Arsenal played today like a team who were protecting the league. They had something that they were protecting. I mean, you're losing. You're playing at home with a chance to go to a final to rescue a season, an abysmal season at that. Now, I totally appreciate, understand the fact that the point where JB is coming from. We all know the situation with the Arsenal board. We all know of how underbacked this team has been since we left Highbury. You know, we went to the Emirates and we were promised to be like, to be competing at the top level, and that team has not been funded. However, saying that, we have competed, and today those 11, those players there did not deserve to be wearing the Arsenal, to be wearing an Arsenal badge, to be wearing an Arsenal jersey. They never showed up. Like I
They didn't
said,
fight, man.
there was no fight, and the lack of fight in the Arsenal team stems from the manager. That lack of fight is just non-existent this season. You know, like playing with patience, thinking that the opportunities are going to come. Like how many times have we seen Arsenal play and go down only for them to start playing,
That's what I was about
in
to
the
say.
80th minute, 72 minutes, and so forth. But
Yeah.
today, that was non-existent. It was non-existent. It was shambolic. The the selection was questionable. Substitution, all of that lies with the manager. I acknowledge, the Cronkies, what they've done, under backing us. But today, that lands squarely at the foot of the manager and those players. They did not show up. There was no desire. There was no urgency. For me, I am strictly manager. Arteta, your time is up, bro. Your time is up. Enough.
All right.
We can't keep seeing this. We can't keep seeing this.
Let me play advocate.
Sorry, you can't motivate your squad to rescue their season. Because that's what we'll be doing. We'll be rescuing our season, and it will be daylight robbery. We're just going in there and winning the Champions League. I mean, winning the Europa to get into the Champions League. That is daylight robbery. We don't deserve it. And today we got what we deserve.
Yeah, what you deserve.
We deserve that.
Yeah, before you go, JB, I'll bring in Double D on. Good to see you again in Double. I think you're right. I also think you're right as well, JB. But let me play advocate for the manager first of all. And this is the only reason, right? I understand that what Arsenal need is not necessarily a quick fix, because even Pep with these tools, yes, he will do better than Arteta. Klopp will do better. Better coaches will do better, because what? They're better coaches, right? But same way as JB was saying about the owners and that, you can't make Arteta what he's not now. And that's not me giving him the excuse. That's just me saying, look, this is who he is. Like same way there's certain players that we've got, they're at Arsenal, because right now we can't attract any better. And the times that they've had better, whether misuse or whatnot. So here's what I'm saying. I think the way he set up tonight was good, because you could see that he wanted to go forward. It's not the greatest to leave Partey being the one protecting the defense, because and I'll come back to him a bit later, because unfortunately it just hasn't worked out since that United game and since he came back from an injury from Tottenham. Something's just gone. It just hasn't worked out. So I'm trying to say that I think, and you need to look at the fact of what he's had to deal with, see if he can get more dead weight out of the club, because you look at the fact that they had Saliba and they had to send him out alone, and I know why, because you have Luiz in the squad, he gave him another contract. Don't know if that was Arteta or up the top, so he's going to have to satisfy that. You send off Guendouzi out alone. Obviously, he's a bit of a character, whatever. That's gone. We all lacked Torreira and what we saw from the first part of the season. I don't think that guy did any much too wrong. So, like, there was no squad depth coming in and, like, changing and shaping things up. You have to send a Willock out alone, because at the moment, you're not playing in there. So we've lost our... So there's a whole lot of stuff with what he's got. He put that team out, and I think they should have done better when they were there. And I understand you're saying that no one turned up, but to be fair to someone like Oba, who we know he needs service, when he had the chances that he had tonight, yes, it's the post, but
should have buried them.
You reckon he should have buried both?
He should have buried both.
The first one, the first one, be Pharaoh. The second one,
yeah. The first one, yeah. But the second one definitely should have buried it.
I think Holding's headers were clearer chances than Oba's header that he got.
A striker of that caliber should be putting them away. That's your bread and butter. That's your bread and butter. You should be putting them away.
He's a primary weapon, bro. He's the primary weapon. You know what I mean? He's got to put it away.
What this is highlighting is it lack of confidence in the team, because like I said, that's your bread and butter. Put it away. Go up, put that in the back of the net. There's no that header was that should have been winning, but still, it doesn't mask the fact that we've played Villareal. We've had one shot on target in 45 minutes in each half. Listen to that. 2 shots on target in 90 minutes.
Not good enough.
For the chance to go to a final and potentially go into the Champions League next season.
Well, you know, Rob, you mentioned something, or was it JB, that if they got into that final and somehow managed to win, just like with the FA Cup win last year and the other FA Cup wins, they mask. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. In Arsenal's situation, and maybe because of where Arsenal's fallen down from, as well, we're looking at it like that. If that's like a Leicester who won the league a few years ago. Yes, Leicester's still been in and around. Actually, to be honest, I think last year and this year's are 2 seasons that Leicester's been in and around the top 4 since they won the league, right? Because the year after they won the league, they were really in the top 4. So it's kind of like masked. Yeah, it's kind of like masked where they are, and I'm kind of in a way glad they're not in that. They're not in that final now, because as much as you say, oh yeah, they could attract other players. Now they're going to have to work for any status and go back to wherever it is they want to go to, which we hope and think going back to the promised land, or at least competing to be in the top 4 before thinking about winning leagues a few years ago. Yeah, that's what I was going to bring. NW, you jump in and then we come back to the left. What was your take?
On the game. Yeah. We didn't want it, man. We didn't want the game. I remember JB saying in the group, the first 20 minutes will tell us everything. And we did not want it at all, mate. I go back to the Sparta Prague game. Different situation, because we didn't go into that game behind. I think we did on away goals or something. But the point is, we started like we wanted to win the game. I know Sparta Prague are not Villareal, but it's a different example of when it's on the line, we turned up for it. We just didn't do that today. Now, you could argue that the way Emery set Villareal up played a part in that. But I don't know, man. There were times when we were countering and it was like 2 or 3 players going up and the rest of them were behind. We weren't attacking together. We weren't even defending together. So I don't know. I wasn't happy with that, man. That first half, oh man, I was so upset.
Yeah, that first half set the tone, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the longer you leave it, the more Villareal are likely to part the bus, dare I say. You know what I mean? They're more likely to try and keep it 2-1 on aggregate. So we needed that goal early. Anyway, the first 20 minutes told me we weren't going to score. And we didn't.
JB, you're up.
I knew the wheels would fall off here. Listen, I'm listening to what everyone's saying and I'm taking it on board, but I want everyone to just take on board the fact that where we was when we was getting into Champions League, the competition's much different, right? And then now we've got to deal with the fact that our owners aren't running the club properly. I heard you mention Leicester. Leicester are where they are because they're being run properly. They're being run properly. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter sometimes about the biggest signings or, you know, the highest profile manager. It's about steadying the ship and playing consistent football, consistent performances. And that's something Arsenal hasn't been able to do for many years. Is put together a season where you can say Arsenal have been consistent. We've been consistently inconsistent, but other than that, nothing else. You know what I mean? Right. Also with the players who we've had to send out on loan, Guendouzi, you fall out with the coach. If you're not going to play for the manager, there's no place here for you in the squad. Arteta came in and stamped that in his first press conference and said, listen, if you're not playing for me, you don't play for the team. So Guendouzi had to go, or else Arteta has to go back on his word. What type of leader goes back on their word? Torreira, to my understanding, is homesick, and I'd rather a man go play where he's happy than be here and be unhappy and underperform. So we're left with what we're left with. I know a lot of men criticise Willock, but I back Willock because I think Willock's a good player. There's a player in there for the future, and we've seen Newcastle miss their best player the other day because he wasn't playing, bro. Yeah? So we've got some good young players. It's about how we go about doing it. I know I've said this many times before in the group, but I don't think Arsenal will be the team that we want them to be until the remnants of all of the other managers, have gone. And that includes Aubameyang, that includes Lacazette, Hector Bellerin. I don't really like digging out players publicly and throwing them under the bus, but I just don't see it. I don't see why he's playing in front of Cedric. I don't know if Cedric's got an injury. I don't know if he's sick. I don't know if he just had a baby or why isn't he playing. I don't know why Hector Bellerin's playing in front of him because I just don't see it no more. Hector, after he lost his pace, unfortunately, he had a serious injury. I don't knock him for that, but he's lost his pace. He's not the same player.
Yeah.
His superpower was his pace. And once you lose that with a player with pace, we saw it with Michael Owen, that's it. What else you have to offer? You have to readjust your game. And it's either he's going to come and play as a central defender or you got to forget the wing because we need pace on the wing. We've lacked pace on the wing for years. So Arteta needs to be able, or whoever the coach is going to be. If you look at a coach like Abramovich, they sacked their so-called legend Lampard. Not so-called, he is a legend at Chelsea. Yeah, they sacked him. No sentiment involved. None whatsoever. Yeah, you're not performing, you're gone. They brought in Tuchel, who, when we was going for a new manager after Emery, a lot of Arsenal fans said they didn't want Tuchel, they didn't rate him. But now look at where he is. He's got a final to look forward to. So I'll say again, we're a poorly run club.
To be honest, they probably wanted to get a Tuchel, but PSG probably jumped ahead of them. And that's Arsenal being slow again. Like how when Pep was available, when Klopp was available, they didn't go for those guys then because they were too slow.
They're not too slow. It's just the board. They know people like Klopp is not someone they can push around. Arteta is someone who can get pushed around with.
The man has got more ambition. No, it's not. No, I wouldn't say Arteta is someone that can get pushed around. He knows this is his first job, and to be honest, win, lose or draw, he'll get another chance somewhere else.
He'll get another chance.
Wherever he goes, they will play better football than what you're seeing here. If
because he'll have the players.
Seriously run club, that's it. I'm guaranteed.
I agree.
I don't trust Arteta. Arteta out. Don't back Arteta. Don't back Arteta. Me, I wouldn't trust Arteta with my debit card. You know what I mean? Leave Arteta out of it, like, you know what I mean?
No. I don't think I trust him. I'll give him a chance.
No, I'm telling you.
Nah. You know what? Arteta, Arsenal is not an experiment.
Do you think he's been given a fair shot?
He's been given a fair shot. He's been given a fair shot. Arsenal is not. We're not.
Are of him. He's been given a fair shot because our expectations are quite high. You think he's been given the resources to build the team he wants to build?
Arteta is playing the football that he wants to play, and this is the results that we're getting.
But he's playing it with the wrong players.
Arteta is too stubborn for his own good.
You can't ask friggin' Holding and these men to start passing the ball around from the back. They're gonna get friggin' slaughtered.
Football. He can pass.
I know. It's just that Man City tactic. That playing from the back is not Arsenal, man. It's not the back four.
Arsene Wenger wasn't trying to make Arsenal Barcelona 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, he was. But look at the players he had for that.
Do you know what I mean? So we've
look at the players. Look at the players Wenger had
with lesser players. It's not going to work, guys.
The thing is, yeah.
We got to face the music.
The thing is, with lesser players, we've performed at a level, and we've won things.
The competition was different, Rob. The competition was different. It was only
you evolve. You evolve with the competition. You evolve. Look at everyone. Look, 5 years ago, we defenders weren't trying to play from the back. Goalkeepers were hooping it up.
But now everyone else
has adapted. Everyone else has adapted. Arsenal has not adapted. The coaching does not suit the players. He's trying to implement a system where he doesn't have the players, the personnel to play that system. So you play to
horses.
That's it. But Arteta is too stubborn. He's too stubborn. He's a dictator, and he lost. He's He's a dictator, man. He has lost that dressing room, and this is the result. He's lost the dressing room.
But didn't we say that about Emery? Didn't we say that about Emery?
Yeah. And
then that's why Emery got sacked, because the players weren't playing for him.
No, they're not playing for him.
So that's going to get sacked as well. It's the same people who sacked Emery. Arteta.
One at a time.
Get Arteta out of here, man. Get him out.
Sorry, you talk. Go on.
Yeah, I said Arteta is too stubborn. He doesn't want to change. You know, making decisions. His insistence on playing players that are out of form. You know, like Martinelli's been knocking on the door for how long? He's not been given a chance. Today we only like sort of shone a little glimmer of hope when Martinelli came on. Martinelli is a driving force. We need that sort of urgency. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
It's clear for us.
Hey, you look, there's something to mention. I know it's not on a Saka or Smith Rowe type level or Tierney type level, but we've seen a difference in Pepe. And to be fair to him, he was all right.
Yeah,
and doesn't that have to do with a manager? And here's the key, guys. The youngsters, and also because like Pepe's what, 24, 25, the younger players he is getting through to. And I think this is where Arteta can shine. In terms of new blood and getting out everything that's on the score. Like, for example, between one of Aubameyang and Lacazette, it's got to go. And I think we know it's going to be Lacazette that probably ends up going. Because obviously
which would be a wrong move. It would be a wrong move to get rid of Lacazette.
I'd keep him, but the owners, bro, they're not going to pay for him. It's the owners. They're not going to put
the owners
to make that
happen. Owners. Yeah.
They will tell
and this is the problem.
Either you can keep Lacazette or you can let him go and then go and buy a new striker. Then what's his dilemma? He's trying to
unless they say, you know what, you can stay for the last year and let him, you know, groom Balogun and hope Balogun does a Saka that he comes. Anytime he comes, he's doing the bit, and I think he will. He's another one. I just think they have to look for the youth if they're not going to spend the money as they will. But there's something that you mentioned, JP, and I think it's probably something that Rob would like as well. I think the fans' current protest that's going on will either perhaps move the club, because let's remember it was their protests that kind of got Wenger out. It was their protests that kind of got Emery out. So perhaps their protests is either going to make that change whereby not what you're looking for, Rob, in terms of Arteta being sacked, but whereby the club now starts to open up the purse strings this summer and sort out recruitment.
I'll be surprised. This is gonna be a Z-list transfer window. Yeah? Unless the owners put their hands in their pocket, it's gonna be a Z-list transfer window. Trust me. Leicester are about to go and sign 2 players, right? Leicester are close to agreeing a deal with Boubakary Soumaré, yeah? Bad boy central midfielder. If you popped him in the midfield with Partey, that would be dynamic because he's a runner. Pereira and Partey would be a perfect partnership. I'll tell you why Partey's having problems is because he's got 2 sides to his game. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you pop him in the midfield with a player like Xhaka who doesn't do the running and the tackling and the winning back the ball like a Kante or a Torreira would do, then he's left to do all of that running and then have to pick out the rangy passes that we're expecting him to play. And today when he was in there in the middle on his own, we saw it was too much for him. So he needs a partner who's going to be energetic and dynamic to get in there, win the balls, cut out the passes, and then he can just lay off and be that central midfielder that's just holding the play and just everything's going through him because he has the talent. We've seen it, you know. And he's with Atletico. They was a good team. They won the Europa League. They beat us on the way to the final and winning that. So we know he's got the talent. He just needs the right players around him. How many times did you say that about Ozil and Alexis Sanchez? They just need the right players. Build the team around these men. And we didn't do it.
They didn't.
Every time we get that close, we just don't add those extra few ingredients that are needed. When we had Sanchez, Ozil, we had Oxlade, Chamberlain, we had all them man. It's like, right, all we needed then was the midfielders and the defenders, and we didn't do it.
I remember we kept saying all we need was like 4 big signings or something. Like there wasn't much to fit. You know what I mean? So
now we need like 6.
I'll tell you the joke. We've been saying that
now we need 6
since we left Highbury.
Do you know what?
How long ago was that?
Years.
We're gonna struggle.
We can't keep going back to that because
I'm saying
they left.
The same line.
No, but it's a fact. What he's saying is same thing hasn't changed all those years. The same problem.
Same way, just a few players away. You know what I mean? And
you know what?
Saying it every year.
We do.
We're going to start holding to account. We can keep replacing managers, but the common denominator is going to be the owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to get you to see, Rob.
It starts with him. It starts with the front.
Look. Olu said that, you're trying to get me to see, the issue with the ownership. I acknowledge the issue with the ownership.
Yeah.
Even now, all the protests that's going on, if we get the Cronkies to sell, we won't attract players. We won't attract players. Like, whatever's been done now, has set us back another 4 years. Let's look at attract players. Because they're playing in Europe. We're not. You know what I mean?
They're a stable club.
They're stably run club.
They will come. They will come. I used to think that as well. But trust me, bro. They won't be the Haalands or Mbappe's coming at the moment. But you'll get the next level.
More man on the squad, trust me.
I don't think there's that much money to spend, especially with the climate in football right now. Yeah. If this Spotify guy is coming in with his peas and he's just putting in money and all of that, good. He's a fan. Yeah. But still, we're not going to be able to attract the players that we require to make the necessary change. Us going out now has set us back 4 years.
Of course.
At least. Has set us back 4 years in our development.
No, but put it this way, I say this for the size of this club, for the size of this squad that they're gonna have next year, even if they get all the reinforcements that they want to, it's not big enough to compete in Europe and at home. We've seen that these two this year definitely, and even possibly even last year. Like we zeroed last year. We zeroed this season because of what happened at the start, whereby it was clear that start of the season was just finished. It just finished them. Let's not lie, like even this year as well, there's just been too inconsistent because of what's been going on. So let's see what happens for me now that there's no Europe. Hopefully there's no Europe, that they don't do some madness and the other teams start dropping points and they get 7th because people are winning cups. They now get to qualify. I don't want them to qualify for Europe next year. Personally, let's deal with the league.
I think if we attract players, we're attracting players for the wrong reason, and these players are just going to come to Arsenal and, you know what I mean,
launch pad.
Sponsor.
It's just there for retirement home. You know what I mean?
That'll be the older ones, not the younger ones. Not the younger ones.
Not the younger ones.
Any good young players, bro.
No, we haven't produced young players. We haven't produced young players in the last, like, with the exception of Saka. Like quality young players. Quality young players.
You can't disrespect Maitland, Willett.
Maitland-Niles will go. Maitland-Niles will go to. Maitland-Niles he's an all right player, but he's not kicked on. He's not kicked on.
He's still young though.
You don't know ballers. You have to know he's a don. Trust me. Remember when he was filling in at right back? But remember.
Yes, I remember under Emery. Under Emery, he had a good season.
Right.
He had a good season under Emery playing a right back. I remember that season. But for some reason, that progression has gone backwards. And who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for that? After Emery, who came in? After Emery, who
Tell
came
me,
in?
bro.
Arteta. Came in. Under Arteta, Martinelli has not given a chance. Under Arteta, Nelson's not been given a chance.
None.
Under Arteta, he's brought in. Huh?
I always thought.
Under Arteta, our best keeper left. Our best keeper left under Arteta.
Arteta's made some dumb decisions, mate. There's no denying that. He has made some dumb decisions.
Yeah.
But I'm not denying that. And what I would say about the goalkeeper situation, what I would say about the goalkeeper situation is Martinez wanted to be told that he would be number one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Arteta said nobody's place in this team is guaranteed. And it goes back to what you're saying, Rob, about him being too stubborn for his own good. Maybe this is an example of that. But he said nobody is guaranteed to be the first place player. And then Martinez said, oh, well, I'll go where I will be that player. So it wasn't a decision that we made to sell him. We just didn't give him the reassurances that he wanted.
Let's go. Ozil. Ozil
was messing up from Wenger days, bro. Remember all them times he's got a bad back.
But still, when we had opportunities to bring him on and to change games, he chose not to play. A whole year getting paid.
It wouldn't have changed the game, Rob. It wouldn't have changed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can you guarantee it would have changed the game? As apparently now he's playing awful now. Apparently in his new club.
You never know until you try it.
I agree. You never know. I mean, but with the way things were going, we were lacking creativity in the midfield. He's arguably the most creative midfielder we had. Yeah, maybe he should have. And he benched him. Yeah, he didn't even bench him. He didn't.
Where's the logic?
I know. Look, I when I say I'm not talking about Arteta as a genius or anything like that. He's made some dumb. There were times I was like, why is Willian starting? And Willian starting again, and then he's starting again. I do question some of his decisions.
Yeah.
Not starting. I think Martinelli should have started today. That's just my opinion. Or he put him on.
The dumb decision was last week with that false 9 thing. That was
stupid. And you know why he did that, right? You know why he did that? Because...
No, I can't say that I did.
Tell us.
Where's the whole squad?
Differently. I don't know why he did that false 9 thing. That didn't work.
You know what it was? Apparently,
that's what cost us.
Apparently it was, when Emery was at Arsenal and we played Man City, Arteta told Guardiola to play with a false 9. I know it's stupid, mate. So Arteta must have been thinking, Emery, it worked when I was at Man City. Let me try it now. I know how dumb it sounds. I do believe that's why he did it. That's not me sticking up for him or making excuses for him. But I reckon that's why he did it. Stupid.
If we had more serious owners, Arteta would be gone.
Yeah,
if we have more serious owners, he'd be gone. And that's the point I'm trying to make, Rob. I ain't got no problem with what you're saying about the coach and his performances. His performances haven't been good enough. Neither has the teams. And I think the players need to be held accountable as well to some degree.
Definitely.
But if we had serious owners, they would have called him to account a long time ago. I can remember when Usmanov was trying to buy Arsenal, controlling shares in Arsenal. If he'd have got like 5, I can't remember the number, but if he had got like a few more people to sell to him, he'd have been able to go into that space with the Kroenkes where they make decisions together. Basically, like they both have controlling shares, but they have to include him on the decisions that they make. And his
who was trying to do that?
Usmanov.
Usmanov.
I'm just giving Wenger the money, and I'm telling him go and buy the world class. I'll give him 200 million and say go do what you got to do. But once I give him that money and he comes back without trophies and without success, as much as he's a legend for this club, you have to think about moving forward and what the next step is. These guys are businessmen, and this is why I think the Daniel Ek interest in buying the club. Not only is it Henri came out and spoke the other day about it, so we know that they're involved and they're bringing legends back and getting the fans involved. He's a tech. This is a tech giant. So marketing, sponsorship, I know that will all roll into Arsenal after that. So there will be money available because these guys will be able to access the right kind of sponsorship by generating the interest just from the collaboration between Spotify and Arsenal. Don't underestimate. We might be playing like shit, but pardon me, we might be playing crap now, but we're still a big club, and people around the world look at us and recognize us as a big club still. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, as far as English football goes, I'm not talking about who's come and bought trophies and who's done whatever. I'm talking about historically. So that combination can only do good things for Arsenal, yeah? And if it just means that we've got more serious owners who are going to hold the coach to more account, who's going to hold the so-called director of football to more account. If I'm Stan and Josh Kroenke, I'm calling Edu and Arteta to my office, so I'm holding a conference call with them tomorrow, and I'm saying, guys, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's all this?
Exactly.
Heads have to roll. Heads have to roll after this. And I'll tell you what, yeah, this Spotify takeover by the Swedish guy, yeah, it has traction because it has the backing of legends and whatnot alongside. The Usmanov thing was dead from the start because the Arsenal board, let's call it as it is, it's a racist board. They didn't want Usmanov on it. You know, the tie with the Russian and whatnot. So they ostracized him. They sold off all their shares and made Kroenke the majority owner. But Spotify is so we could say is legit because the Usmanov finances was not, you know what I mean? It's a bit dubious as to where he got his finances from.
The
Spotify one the Spotify one is there for everyone to see, you know. And also he's European. So it could work. It could work. He has a lot of things going in his favor. You know, not to mention
I want to say
Arsenal legends.
I want us to save some of this chat for end of the season and last game because
Can I finish?
know a bit more. So let's have our closing remarks with this game and that. You go first, Rob.
My closing remark is that having seen that performance, heads need to roll. We need, like, within 48 hours, I expect a press conference or, you know, someone to be dismissed because that's abysmal. We need a reaction, knee jerk or not. There needs to be a reaction. That's my part. We didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve that as Arsenal fans. It's not good enough.
JB?
Just to echo a bit of what Rob was saying, man, we the fans, we don't deserve this. So I'm going to echo that. Like, we need a reaction. Something needs to happen. And what needs to happen is we need to get the Kroenkes out of Arsenal. Kroenke out. Yeah. Stan and Josh.
Yes, Kroenke out, yeah.
Yeah, Kroenke's out. Hashtag that. Do what you got to do with it. All of that. Yeah. Because until that happens, nothing's going to change. Yeah. The season's over. I know there's a couple more games, but as far as I'm concerned, the season's done. You may as well put Miguel Aziz and then man into the team. Like, it's done. Give Bellerin a couple games and that. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it. Season's done. Kroenke's out, and that's my word. I can't even be angry no more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done being angry, man. I mean, I get depressed, but I'm done. There was a time I used to get vexed, man, but now it's just it is what it is, innit? But to echo what Rob and JB said, yeah, I just want to see action taken. Like, every week we play, I just feel like, I don't know, they didn't learn nothing from the last game. You can concede the exact same goal like every week. So I just want to see something done. I do notice that the youngsters seem to have faith in Arteta. Didn't Bellerin sign a new contract or something?
Yeah.
So I don't know. They believe it for some reason. But, one more thing I wanted to say before we it will come back to me. Go on. Next. I forgot it.
Okay, you were the last man. I won't add what you guys have said because I'm in agreement as well. Next few days, I think someone does need to take the brunt of this. It will be interesting to see if it's going to be some players or it's going to be the manager or some of his staff. I do think that the Kroenkes, and just look what happened with the European Super League. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. The only way I see them leaving is if this fan protest manages to get them to a place where they sit down with this Daniel, with this Eckhart guy, or Eck. Sorry, I don't even know his name. The Spotify dude. Because I was hoping, I was daring to dream. You mentioned things about race relations, bro. That it was going to be Dangote from Africa that would come in and be the one to bid. Yeah,
Yes.
But now you mentioned about how they felt about Usmanov.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's gonna even come very, very close. Someone else needs to have the first African owner first.
We need someone ruthless. We need someone ruthless, man. We need to be ruthless. Like,
so, NW, did you remember that thing you wanted to say? Otherwise, we call it a night.
No, we'll call it a night. I'll say it in the group chat, man.
No worries. Do we have enough strength to come back for the rest of the games? Like, with no final to look forward to, it's just gonna feel really, really weird analyzing anything left.
There's no point.
Jeez.
Thank you guys so much.
5-0 or something. That'll be so typical. To do it when the damage is already done.
Let's see how that goes. Thank you again, lads, and thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe and share this.
That's what's up. Peace out, lads.
Peace out.